Okay, so I had to go live with this. Blackstone reports a 73% crash in their profits, and real estate values are definitely tanking. And so we got to talk about this because it's so important. As a real estate entrepreneur, an investor, like I have to talk about this. This is like, whoa. All right. Oh, with this, Blackstone reports. Okay. Sorry, it's like playing back to me. So, okay, you guys can hear me though. So, long story short, actually, I'm having a real estate investor meeting Thursday, February 8th at 5 p.m. You can go to flreia.org. It's a real meeting. I'm gonna be there. It's in Orlando, Florida. So, if you're in the area, we're gonna be talking about Florida real estate, connecting, networking, doing what we do. You can register absolutely free. flreia.org. Go now, RSVP. Like I said, it's a free in-person live event. So I'll be there 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to come meet me in person, talk about real estate, that's what we're going to be doing. So let's talk about this because obviously we know that the commercial real estate industry is in dire straits right now. Like there's some crazy stuff going on. Obviously, we know that since COVID, people are not wanting to go back into the office. So commercial real estate, like office buildings and office space, that has been going down in value. In fact, there's some real talk about what are they going to do to get people to go back into these offices, because so much of the economy really depends on people going into these offices. So it's not just the office buildings themselves. When you work in an office, okay, take it from me. I used to work in corporate America for many years. I worked in mortgage banking. I worked at Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. So you go into these office buildings, right? And there's restaurants, there's gas stations, you have to eat lunch, you have to drive on the highway, you use gas in your car. So there's like these multiplier effect to, different people coming into the building, and it creates economic activity, and there's this multiplier effect. Okay. So that's why they want you to go back into offices and work. Now, as somebody that used to work in an office, does not work in an office anymore, I can understand why you don't want to work in an office, right? Like we all kind of want to be entrepreneurs. If you're following Noelle, I'm a real estate entrepreneur. I'm not going to anybody's office anymore. Not doing it. Don't want to do that. However, I do have employees. Luckily, my employees, my contractors, most of them, they work remotely. We put on events. We flip houses, things like that. So we don't necessarily work in the office. We're out and about. But lots of companies, they need you to go into an office, right? They need you to work in an office. They need you to be in the office because they want you to not just work in the office so they know where you are. They want you to go to lunch. They want you to go to breakfast. They want you to buy Starbucks. They want you, going to happy hour after work. You know what I mean? There's so much economic activity. So right now, there are buildings that are like 30, 40, 50% empty. So vacancy rates are up. So commercial real estate, especially the retail office space, is in danger right now. And that is why Blackstone probably lost and reported those losses. But there's another thing with Blackstone, because obviously they have real estate and they have other investments that they do. But one of the reasons that we watch Blackstone and we watch these big venture capitalists and these big real estate asset, managers, is because we can kind of see what's going on in the market. And that's what I want to teach you. So commercial real estate, I have some commercial real estate, but if I do commercial real estate, it's really apartment buildings. It's residential housing. Obviously, we cannot live in phones. We are not going to be living any app. There's no app that they're going to be creating. Even if they take us to the moon, we're still going to have to live in something. So residential real estate is still a big thing. Now, apartment complexes, for example, is density. That's a lots of people living in, one space at a time. And so you can charge a lot for rent and you can make a lot of money. And then there's things that we do with apartment buildings where, some of them are long-term tenants, some of them are short-term rentals. And I'm getting into visibility properties where you maintain the property and sorry, I shouldn't say you maintain it. You renovate the property to make sure that it's visitable for people that are like in wheelchairs and things like that. And so that's actually one of the things that I'm super excited about and doing in 2024. And these are some of the projects that we're talking about in real estate, because there's much money to be made in real estate. Real estate is still the number one way to wealth. It is still the fastest way to millionaire status. And you can own real estate and it can go up in value and you can make a lot of money buying and selling real estate. Okay. I've had properties that I bought for $100,000, kept it for 2.5 years, sold it for $300,000. Okay. And cash flowed the property in the entire time that I had it. So then I made, $250,000 off of a townhouse. So those are the type of investments that I think that you should be doing and where you should be starting in your business. And so these are some of the things that we're talking about again at the Real Estate Investor Association meeting. And again, you don't even have to live in Florida to invest in real estate in Florida. So the last in-person real estate investor association meeting, we had people drive from Alabama, Mississippi. So again, it's this Thursday, February 8th at 5 p.m. from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's in person. Go to FLREIA.org. RSVP, it's absolutely free. But again, if you're not actually going to come, don't RSVP. Don't take up people's spots, because once it fills up, it's gone. And of course, it's a live in-person event. I'm a popular person, so it's going to fill up. And I don't want people to just RSVP and they have no intention on showing up. Like if you're in like Michigan and you're not coming to Florida, please don't RSVP and take somebody's spot who's really going to come, because people drive from Georgia, Alabama, surrounding areas to Florida. We have this great meeting. And of course, I'm there talking about real estate investments. You can bring your projects, if you have deals, if you have people that are in distress. So the thing to make money in real estate is still going to be finding distressed assets. And what the point of why I'm going live and had to talk about this, because commercial real estate is in trouble. And we're seeing some great indicators from people like Blackstone. Okay. If they're reporting a 73% decline, in their profits, whoa, it's a big deal. So is commercial real estate and office buildings the thing that we should be investing in right now? No. But should we be investing in single family homes? Should we still be doing short-term rentals? Should we be doing apartment complexes? Should we be buying multifamilies? Yes. Okay. So more people, like I said, are working from home, not in the office. So what real estate is valuable? Homes. That's where people are working. They're not going to the office. So come on, I'm trying to get you guys on game. And this is how you can make a lot of money. This is how I went from living in my parents' basement, broke, bankrupt, bad credit, no money, multiple foreclosures, to today, real estate millionaire, multi-millionaire. Okay. Getting properties that are in distress, people that are behind on their mortgage payments, people that got relocated, death, disaster, divorce, they say the D's. Those are great assets to go after. You can get those properties for pennies on the dollar. You can sometimes fix and flip them. Sometimes you don't even have to fix and flip them. It depends on your situation. You can just wholesale them to other investors and make money. You can fix and flip them and make money. The average profit on a fix and flip is over $65,000. Okay. And this is not just Noelle making this up. You can look this up. The average profit on a fix and flip is over $65,000. So how many fix and flips would you need to do to make a lot of money? Okay. And then let's talk just rental properties. You can have a rental property. And again, you can do long-term tenants where you're doing vacant, unfurnished properties, or you can do short-term rentals, which is what I prefer, because you make more money on the property and you get to be in the property. You get to see the inside. You're cleaning the property all the time. You get to see what, people are in and out. And I know people think that that's more of a risk. It is more work, but actually it's less risk because I'm always in my properties. Anything that gets broken, I get to see. We're constantly getting to clean them. And then when we go to sell them, they're actually in much better condition because a tenant wasn't just in there destroying the property. It's guests. And most of the time, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, especially in Florida, which is why I'm telling you, come to the Florida Real Estate Investor Association, FLREIA.org, live in-person meeting, February 8th, 5 p.m. I'm gonna be there on time, absolutely free. Okay, I'm not charging for this. This is free. So we can bring deals. If you have somebody that is past due on their payments, or somebody that wants to sell their property, we have older people aging out and they're selling 6, 10, 12 of their rental properties. So you can do one deal and end up with a whole portfolio. And in one deal, you're a millionaire and you didn't have to use your money to get those properties. There's tons of financing for real estate because it's a collateral. There is collateralized. So a lot of times you don't need to show your business. You don't need to show any tax returns. You don't need to show bank statements. The property itself is what they will lend on. So literally you can become a millionaire without even having to save money, without having to show your tax returns or your pay stubs or anything like that. You don't have to show any income. And in some cases, without bringing any money to the table. Like, you could become a millionaire, literally. And this is not me just making stuff up. You guys realize this is the game. This is real estate. And this is what people have been doing for many years. I just feel like a lot of us, we did not know and we weren't involved. And it's time. 2024 is going to be an amazing year for real estate. One of the reasons that Blackstone, going back to the point of this live, why Blackstone is reporting these 73% declines in their profit is because of the interest rates going up. Okay. So if we're talking about they're paying higher interest rates, then their investors are demanding higher interest rates. So it's squeezing them on profits. But the fun thing about it is we just use that as an indicator for what we should be doing. Okay. Because we're not Blackstone. We're not going to get $1 billion, anytime soon. We're going to have to build up to that. So we got to get our first million before we get to billion. Okay. So I checked that one off, and I want as many of you guys to check that one off. And then you make 1 million, then you can get to 10 million, then you can get to 100 million. Now we're really controlling things in our community. And that's how you build generational wealth, and not just for your family. I'm talking about our entire status in America. This is how we're going to change it. So I'm doing this free event. I want us to connect. I really feel like we're stronger together. Okay. We really are. And we're not stronger together just saying that like, oh, no, I mean, really, like if you bring deals, say your cousin, your aunt. I have people that tell me my aunt is losing her house. Well, guess what? Instead of her going into foreclosure, why doesn't she just sell the house to Noelle, Randall, or she sells it to someone in our group? And the property, again, doesn't have to be in Florida, but Florida has just been a really great market. I literally am from Connecticut. I was not born and raised in Florida. I was born and raised in Connecticut. I've lived in Texas, Virginia, California, Massachusetts, Georgia. I lived in a lot of states, okay, because I've been doing this real estate game for a while. I'm not as young as I look. Thank y'all for the compliments, though. So I'm definitely in my 40s. I got grown kids. So long story short, you can do this. You can do this literally. And I'm saying that we're stronger together because a lot of times we'll get properties. Okay. We get properties, but then we lose them because we don't have a network. And you don't have to go into foreclosure. Take it from somebody that's been through foreclosure, sheriff taking your stuff, putting it outside. I've been through that. It's embarrassing. It's terrible. The great thing about that is I did actually take that opportunity and I learned how we can get together, how we can do subject to deals, how we can do lease purchase options, how we can rent the properties out until, we're back working again and things like that. Again, we're stronger together when we have a network of people that are working together, and it's all about making money and not just like making quick money. I'm talking about having assets. And why I like real estate, and I'm always preaching owning real estate to you, even if you have another business, is because it's a tangible asset that appreciates over time. Statistically speaking, even when we take into consideration the market crashes for real estate, you still are making so much money because properties go up in value over time. Okay. And now with this stuff that we know with velocity banking, with being your own bank, with crowdfunding, with business credit and business funding, these are the things that we can do where we don't even have to use our own personal credit. We don't have to use our own personal assets, and we actually acquire tangible assets. I'm not talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and none of that foolishness. I mean, an actual piece of property, land. And that is truly how you become wealthy. So Blackstone is telling us they're reporting 73% declines in their profits. Why? Commercial real estate. Those are office buildings. People aren't going to work. Okay, so what does that mean? People are staying home, working from home. Post-COVID, people still haven't come back to the office. So what does that mean? People are actually buying homes and wanting homes. And even if they're renting, then you be the landlord. You don't have to be the tenant. You can rent and still own real estate. I've actually been a tenant in somebody else's home and still had a portfolio of properties. Okay. So you got to get in the game. You have to have assets. If you ever are going to change your financial status, you got to start doing stuff differently. You got to start being around different people. You have to start trying different things, asking your questions, coming out, getting out from your house, get off your phone, get off your computer, and actually come and talk. And say, okay, here's what I can do. Here's what I know. Let me meet this person. Let me give them my phone number. Let me get connected with you. And then when all of a sudden, when auntie is saying, hey, I'm behind on my payments and the bank about to take the house back, You're like, oh, sis, you don't have to do that. I have this group I'm already connected to. I could buy the house from you. That could be my first rental property, or I'll sell it to these people and we can actually make a profit. Then you get back on your feet, then we buy in real estate again. But we got to stop losing our properties to the bank. That's where our wealth is going. And part of that, and I made a video on YouTube, you should watch it, about how Navy Federal Credit Union declined more than 50% of African American applicants. Well, part of that is just us not knowing the system, us not knowing the game. So how are you ever going to learn? Come on, let's go. Florida Real Estate Investor Association. That's FLREIA.org. Go there right now. You RSVP. It's February 8th. That's this Thursday. I'm doing this live. It's Tuesday. So we already I just opened up a few more spots and made the space that we were in a little bit bigger to hold more people. I'm going to be there. People that are actually already a member of the Florida RIA, you'll actually have time with me. We'll take some pictures if that's what you want to do. But bring your deals, bring your questions, bring your notepads, take notes. Like, be open to saying, man, I can't be a millionaire, because that's really where it starts, in your mind saying, yes, I can be a millionaire, and starting to learn, like, wait a minute, if I'm telling you Blackstone is losing money, well, why are they losing money? Commercial real estate, high interest rates. Well, guess what? In the residential market, even, and I'm not even talking about multifamilies, just let's even go with single family homes. 80% of the people that have a mortgage on a single family home have an interest rate less than 6%. 80%. So in many cases, we're able to just take over their payments. We don't even have to apply for another mortgage. We actually take over their payments. We buy the home goes in our name, the deed goes in our name, but the mortgage stays in their name, and we start paying it using our business credit and our business funding. And these are just the stuff that you can do. And this is not, airy fairy stuff. This is real stuff that you can do to build your wealth so that you can own real estate. Okay. So that you can be a millionaire. You really can. And I'm not saying you have $1 million cash, but what if you got 5, 6 properties? Sometimes I'm in a situation is going on. I got something I need to do. I sell one of my properties. I get a couple $100,000. Right. You get it. You get it. All right. I love it. I love it. So real estate values, when I say real estate values are tanking, I mean that, but mostly in the commercial space, and especially with commercial office buildings. They're even talking about converting those buildings into apartment complexes. But I'm going to tell you really quickly why converting, so let's say we take some old office buildings. That's actually not easy to convert those buildings into apartments. That's why you see mostly the new apartment complexes that they're building, they just build them new construction. Because one of the problems are, say, take an office building. Who's worked in corporate America? Just kind of give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you worked in corporate America. You had to go to one of those buildings with the cubicles, just rows and rows and cubicles. I know Noelle's not the only one. Okay. All right. I see some of y'all raising y'all hands. Okay. I'm looking on YouTube. I'm looking over here on my YouTube. Okay. Yes. More yes. All right. So let's get to it. Let me tell you something. Bathrooms are mostly the issue. So when you look at the layout of a commercial office building, the reason why they're not easily converted into other types of buildings, especially apartment complexes, because there is such a need for housing. We are having a housing shortage crisis, okay, especially affordable housing. That's a whole nother thing that we will be talking about all day, like making affordable housing. But that's going to take some of us getting together and getting our money up before we really can make affordable housing and really make that and have the power to make that an agenda in the political space. But I'll talk about that in a second. So let's just talk about the office buildings and converting them to apartment complexes. Just not easy. Most of the bathrooms are way on just like one end. And with an apartment building, and obviously every single apartment needs 1, 2, 3 a bedroom. So if you have a 3-bedroom apartment, you need at least 2 bathrooms. A 1-bedroom apartment needs 1 bathroom. So the bathrooms is really why it's really hard to convert those. And then of course the HVACs and getting everybody their own HVAC unit. So it actually ends up being almost impossible to change some of those buildings over from office buildings into apartments. But that's not our problem. That's not even what we worry about. I just wanted to tell y'all that, teach y'all that, because that's something people often will kind of bring me some of these projects where we convert buildings. And I'm telling you, the money is in finding a distressed piece of property. That's one. That's the easiest way to become a millionaire. Finding lots of people that are behind on mortgage payments, bankruptcies, divorce, pre-foreclosures. That's going to be your number one way. Okay. The second way is going to be new construction. Okay, obviously new construction if you just built the building. The issue with that is it's not as easy to find funding. And so why when you find distressed properties, a lot of times they already have a mortgage. That's what's the problem, not the house. The mortgage was the problem. So if you can take over the mortgage payments, you now have an asset. And then any down payment that they put down, any of the mortgage payments that they made, if they were going to foreclosure, they lose that. But if you buy that from them, you gain that. You literally get all of their equity. Okay. Yeah. Think about that. Think about that. You get all of their equity. You get all of that money. That's now that's how you become a millionaire really quickly. So even if I buy a property and they're behind on the payments 3-4 months and I got to put 6-7 grand to catch the mortgage payments up, I use my business line of credit and then I take the mortgage payments over. Maybe I fix and flip it, or maybe I just put a tenant in it and I keep it moving and then I sell the property in a year or two. Boom. That's an easy way for me to pick up $100,000-$200,000 a year off one piece of property. And you help people. That's a whole nother thing that we'll talk about. And we often talk about at the Florida Real Estate Investor Association meetings, how we help people with helping with real estate investors. We help people. We really do. In many cases, we help fix their credit. We actually help them when we take over those mortgage payments. We actually help them avoid foreclosure a real way, no scam, like talking to the bank, trying to get them a modification, and we just buy the property from them. So now they don't have to worry about that mortgage. And most of the time, like I said, what's the issue? The mortgage, not the house. The house is usually is in great condition. Maybe it needs some paint, or maybe it needs some appliances, or maybe flooring in one of the rooms, maybe some new carpet. But a lot of times you clean the carpet and you paint. You don't even, spend less than $1,000, $1,500 getting the property ready. I've literally got properties painted and clean the carpets and then put it on MLS and sold the property retail. But the original seller couldn't do that because they were behind 3-4 months on the mortgage payments, and the bank is coming back to get it. But that's how banks really make a lot of money, especially if you have equity in your property. They take all of that back. Why? We could work together and save our community. And again, a lot of us are newer to home ownership. So that's why a lot of times we get behind on those mortgage payments. We don't realize all of the different options, and we really don't know about real estate investors and how they can help. Just buy the property from you, let you go ahead on about your business, and in a year your credit is fixed and you could buy another house instead of 4 years if you let it go into foreclosure. If you let a house go into foreclosure, you're not getting another mortgage for 4 years. Okay, conventional. And in a FHA loan, the minimum is 3. So we help each other. And again, that's why I said we're stronger together. Blackstone is reporting all of these losses. Don't let that scare you. Real estate values are tanking in the commercial office space, but they are not tanking in the real estate residential market. Okay. Single families and multifamilies and apartment buildings, they are still where you want to be. And I think a lot of people try to scare you because they know that's where the money is. Don't. And then it's funny. It'll be the same people telling you to buy cryptocurrency, but don't buy a house. What? Don't buy a house that, even worst case scenario, you just live in it. They'll tell you not to buy that, but buy cryptocurrency. Use your brain. It just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. And for so long, they put laws, they were putting literal laws against Black Americans buying homes and redlining and blockbusting. So why would you fall for the trick? Okay, this is the truth season. I know everybody's getting Cat Williams and Jay-Z Noelle is here too with the truth. Do not fall for that. Do not fall for that. Do not think that you should not own a home when literally they did everything in their power to make sure you couldn't buy one. Why would that be? If there's nothing in a house and in real estate, why did they do all of that to make sure you couldn't buy one? Just use your brain. So you want an asset. You want real estate. You do. Now, again, I'm not saying that everybody needs to own 40 and 50 properties. That's not what I'm saying. You do not have to do that. But you're an absolute fool if you think that you should just rent your entire life. Even if you rent, you still should own property. Again, you can rent and still have a portfolio that pays you and pays your rent. This is a tangible asset, one of the only assets that just appreciates over time, just because it is what it just goes up in value. So come on. and learn more about it. And again, if you're curious and you have these questions, I love it. I'm okay. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I was broke, bankrupt, had bad credit, no money. Today, a multimillionaire. So I get questions, have them, ask them. Let's talk about it. And again, you could come and ask these questions in person. We could talk about it. You can bring your deals. Go to FLREIA.org. Absolutely free, February 8th, 5 p.m. Okay. All right. So let me take some couple of questions. So Eve, how can I invest in real estate understanding the owner mortgage? So I don't sure because there's owner financing is kind of what I'm talking about. So there's different ways where I'm saying the owner is financing you. So you're taking over the mortgage payment. So that's subject to, but then there's also lease purchase options where you actually lease the property with the option to purchase it. And what you use is the mortgage payments, what they're behind. That's what you use as either your down payment or your security deposit. Okay. And that's how, and then you actually go to the closing. You actually make a contract where I am buying this property subject to the existing financing staying in place. And that's usually what we do in real estate investing. Like that's one of the best things that I ever came across. That's why I'm always talking about it. I built a whole portfolio on that. It does two things. It helps me build my wealth and it helps somebody that's behind on their payments, that's about to lose a house to a bank that has billions of dollars. Actually, I help and it helps both of us and it helps our community. So, and the owner financing is just people that actually, they may own the home outright and they're willing to set up a mortgage for you and say, okay, you give me this down payment and you give me these monthly payments and we actually still go to a closing and we sign and you get the deed, which is what you want to do. You want the deed. So there we go. All right, guys, I've been up here for so long. And again, these are good questions. You can definitely, best place to find owner financing. And again, owner financing, I would say, is secondary to subject to, but you can find these deals really literally on Craigslist. Literally on Craigslist. But more importantly, you want to find somebody that's in distress, that's behind on their payments, or they got relocated, or somebody is dying. We get probate deals, divorce. Obviously there was two people paying a mortgage. Now it's only one. So if they file bankruptcy, and a lot of times they file bankruptcy Chapter 7, those are the best ones because in many cases they can't keep the properties, and you can do the deal subject to. But straight up owner financing deals, there's tons of them. A lot of landlords, like say for example, like I said, a lot of older people, they'll be in their 60s, 70s, and they'll have a bunch of rental properties and they just want to retire. They just want to be done. They want to sell all of them. A lot of times they'll do what's called like a bulk deal where they will sell all of those using owner financing, and then you can just actually do what's called like a blanket mortgage. It's called a blanket mortgage where you get several, it's one loan for more than one piece of property. So you may have 5 different houses, 6 different houses. So they're selling all 6 of them. You could just get one mortgage. It's called a blanket mortgage. And we have those financing. We have those lenders. Again, that's one of the things that we talk about. We lend it, they lend in all 50 states. If you have questions about lending and you want lending, I have a lending company, NUULENDING, newlending.com. But again, I think more than anything is come on out, Eve. I'm seeing you. How you find homes that are behind on their mortgage payments. That's pre-foreclosure. That's public records. So when somebody's behind on their mortgage payments, before it goes into foreclosure, it goes into pre-foreclosure. And the bank files something called a notice of default, which is public records. And you literally can go to county records and pull up the notice of defaults and send them letters. So a lot of times when you see people that are behind on their mortgage payments, they start getting a lot of mail. Hey, I could buy your home from you. You'll also see those signs, bandit signs. We buy houses, or you'll see signs that say behind. I used to put signs that said behind on mortgage payments, ? Call me. I can help. I used to even go around neighborhoods that I wanted to buy homes in and put door hangers on and saying we're buying homes in the area, cash. So we talk about all of that. I'll be here all day if I'm here, Eve. So I would love if you actually came and we could even just narrow down what's for you. You know what I mean? What's for you and what you should be doing, because there's so much opportunity in real estate and there's so much of it that we just don't know that we can do. But there's something for everybody and something for everybody's personality. Like I say, there is a lid for every pot. Okay, there is a lid for every jar. There is something that you can do that fits you. If you have good credit, if you have bad credit, if you have no job, if you have no time, there's something for you. There's something for you. And they've been out here doing this for years. We just didn't know about it. So All right, guys, I'm gonna close one more time and really just invite you again. Free meeting, Real Estate Investor Association, Florida Real Estate Investor Association. I'm the president of it. You go to FLREIA.org. I would love to see you guys there live in person. Again, once all the tickets are gone, it's gone because it's absolutely free. But bring your deals. If you know anybody that has properties that they want to sell or deals that you want to do, new construction, we got a lot of different things going on. I got construction company, I got lending company. I have a real estate. I'm a real estate broker. I have other real estate brokers. We have everything. Okay, we have everything. So in almost every different state. So let's do it. All right, guys. I'm out of here. FLREA.org. Love you guys. Bye. Oh my gosh, how do I end it? Here. All right, FLREA.org. I cannot wait to see everybody there. Oh man, I'm still here on YouTube. Hey, okay, so I'm gonna just talk to my YouTube people because I'm still here. My TikTok, I closed that one out, but so let me see my YouTube people. What questions do we have? Because I see we're still here live. So, okay, so somebody's asking a question. So, what do we talk about? Like I said, so usually at the Florida real estate meeting, come on time because I'm gonna be on time. I start all my stuff on time. I'm not one that's late. There's obviously networking where you can network with other people, but I'm there. My team is there. We have lenders, we have construction companies, we have some bulk deals that we're actually working on. And if you want to buy into those, but buy a property again, you're not really buying into a deal. It's not an investment fund. It's actually you buying that piece of real estate, and I'm buying property in that area as well. So that's where that works out. And uh, why is it not? Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry. It kind of just like